Jerusalema, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalema, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Dawo yami alikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, zuhambe nami. Dawo yami alikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, zuhambe nami. Ilondoloze, 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 zungangishilana. Ilondoloze, ilondoloze, ilondoloze.
Welcome, my brothers and sisters. This is Big E, Diaspora Talk. Thank you for joining. Enjoy Jerusalem, the translation.
Ilondoloze, zuhambe nami. Jerusalema, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalema, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Dawo yami alikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, zuhambe nami.
All right. Thank you for joining me. Just played a little bit of Jerusalem. I found it very, very important because it has a translation. Thank you so much for all of you to join Diaspora Talk with Big E. It's been a while ago. I've been challenged, and within the challenge, I overcome. Thanks to Xavier, I'm here to broadcast a little bit of knowledge that I had within the last 3 or 4 weeks that I've been out. And I really appreciate for everybody that joined me again. It's really a pleasure to see the family. And just put something nice. Marie Antoinette, it's good to hear you. Red, I hope you enjoy Jerusalem with the translation. Walagita, as Nagat, you know, those of you that joined me, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much. It's been a while since I've been communicating with all of you out there. First of all, I wanted to start with a beautiful prayer that I always think is important before we engaged in any conversation. As you see it in the Jerusalem, it says, "God, this kingdom is not here. Our kingdom is somewhere else." So in Xavier's name, I bless you all for joining me. Thank you so much, my Lord, for giving me the voice, to give me the opportunity today to be challenges that I've faced and I overcome. And I really thank you, Xavier, for giving me this opportunity again to talk to my brothers and sisters out there. The Diaspora Talk has a lot of meaning and didn't got created, but it got created by you, by your influence, and the family reunite for that. And I really thank you, Lord, for giving us this opportunity to have a platform. And it's going to be a very interesting topic today is about our engagement. Africa is calling for all her children to get engaged. And finally, Lord gave us this opportunity that we're all going to be engaged again in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right. It's good to see everybody. Marit, I see that. That's not a minute. Really, really, really miss you guys. I mean, it feels like years, and I was trying to put some things together for today. And again, another challenge, but we overcome. Usually I do it on 2 o'clock, but I had a little bit of a stream, your stream issues, and it got solved. And here I am, and my voice is not going to be silent because Christ is with me. He guards me. He protects me. He'll always walk with me. And I believe all of you believe that the Creator is always with you. So today's topic is kind of, again, how many of you like Jerusalem on with the translation? Because everybody listens to it, they don't see the meaning of it, because it's a very powerful song. Yes, Marit, I love good challenges. Yes, I'm alive. That's one thing. And you all know a few challenges that I went on the back of meetings and all that. But thank you so much for all your support. Reg, again, it's good to see you. As Nugget, I really want to pick up a few conversation with you about some of the statistics that's been uploaded. If you get a chance, you can join me, because I'm gonna start putting the invite right here, because this it's gonna be very interesting topic. What I want to pick up is on. In order for us as Africans and African descent in the world, actually, everybody that wants to know about Africa, we need to get down to the real meaning. What is Africa and where it comes from? Who are we? And people gives it all kind of different names, and some of them say, okay, Africa is really the word African from the old meaning of it. It started with Afar. It's from Afar, and then they added the Ika. So our Afar people now, they're so limited in a little corner of Ethiopians. They're part of Ethiopians, but there were all over the northeast side. So the name might be that came in from the Romans, and thinking that they discovered it, but the name really it comes from Afar, and then ICA that they added as the suffix, and that became Africa. So when it comes to translation, there's a lot of confusion out there. So we're going to have to really narrate our own history, our own being, that who we are, and our goals on what we want to see. In order to get engaged, you've got to have some kind of business plan. And in fact, just put something together. But in the meantime, again, I cannot miss without playing. You understand, everybody know I'm very weak when it comes to Mika's and Godspeed. And I think that'll give us a good pleasure to hear that part. And I want you guys to really enjoy that as usual, while I'm putting this little PowerPoint that I'm putting together, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So let's hear it from Mika and Godspeed. And we played Jerusalem. And now I'm just going to play Made for Jesus. You all know, and I know you love it. Or do you want me to hold off on that? It's just, I'll go by both today, if you guys want to wait on that and see the presentation, and then we put it in between, or you want to listen to it today, right now. I just want to see some of your comment. Any takes? Any takes? Or you want me to dive in right into my presentation? I'm waiting on the comment section. Yes. Okay, Rich. Everybody want to play it. Here we go. Love it. There we go. Here's our loved brother Mika and loved brother Godspeed, made for Jesus.
In the covers of your heart, stood your beloved, your day stood, the fairest among 10,000 wives. You formed the seasons and fixed the time. You gave me sparks in the morning light. Creation flowed from your love. You were crafty and I was breathing. You were laughing, I was reaching out for you. I was made for heaven. I was made for Jesus. I was made to walk the cool of the day with you. With you. Cursed in the garden of paradise, knew the pain from the Father's heart. To get us back, you gave it all. Filled in the likeness of flesh on earth, bore the cross that we deserve. I've gotten down on my knees. Spirit breathing on me, been said and I see what I was made for. I was made for heaven. I was made for Jesus. I was made to walk in the cool of the day with you. I was made for heaven. I was made for Jesus. I was made to walk in the cool of the day with you. With you. The whole point of my existence is to know you, Jesus. The whole point of my existence is to know you. Oh, the whole point of my existence is to know your love. The whole point of my existence is to know you, Lord. The whole point of my existence is to know your love. The whole point of my existence is to know your Lord. Is to know your Lord. Is to know your Lord. I was made for heaven. I was made for Jesus. I was made to walk the cool of a day with you. I was made for heaven. I was made for Jesus. I was made to walk the cool of a day with you. with you.
There you have it. All right. Oh, it's beautiful to listen to the song. They played it so well. It just within the last 3 weeks I've been out. I've been playing maybe every other day or so. Kind of give you a strength and give me a lot of strength. So I'm just gonna dive into the presentation that I put together, and you'll be amazed that first of all, the title today that we're discussing is Africa is calling. Africa calling for all her children to get engaged in all her affairs. In order to get engaged with all her affairs, then we're just going to have to really dig in and understand our history. And there are so many controversial maps and a narrative. And I'll show you two different maps on this presentation. And at one point we have history. The next thing you know, the next map that comes in later doesn't have any history. It becomes like an unknown region. Without delay, let me share this a map with you guys, and then we'll get to understand what I'm talking about. So you don't have the there we go. This is the part that I want to share. By the way, this is a part of the ongoing power presentation that I have with everybody. Just to know, I don't know if you guys sees that. Sees share. Do you guys can see? You guys can see the share. It seems like it got a little bit larger than I expected. Can you see the presentation? Can someone confirm? Let me bring it up. Okay. These are a part of the agenda that we've been taking. And give me 1 second. And all right. This is the map that I want to show. Just give me a second. Can you see this map? You're welcome, Let's Nugget. I can place it a little bit bigger in here, and then I can move it around. Does everybody can see this? Just want to confirm that. Great. Okay, you can see it. So, like you said, you know, this is one of the old maps. Okay, we'll find the Abyssinian in here. It's Abyssinia, and then you have Ethiopia right in the center, and then you have Sudan. And then if you look up below, it says unexplored area. So it gives you a lot of questions, okay? And on a different map also, we'll see that the same region will have a different meaning. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and I'm going to compare it to another screen where, as you can see, there was below Ethiopia, there was no information whatsoever. And I'm going to share another screen where it shows there was histories. There were places. I'm going to share this as it is, and to find the maps. This is the map that I was looking, and it's amazing that suddenly all that history that we see in those maps. Can everybody see the map? I just want to make sure that I got the map. If you look at it on this one, it says Lower Ethiopia, Upper Ethiopia, and then you got all this history in here. You have places that are really, you can see what they look like. So I'm going to bring it on a bigger view so everybody can see. I just want to make sure that everybody's following with my map and what I'm talking about. Got to go back and forth just to make sure that everybody's seeing the map that I'm looking at. Okay, I'm gonna share this map instead. Excuse my technical ability to get some of these maps out and share with everybody. And this is another map. Give me 1 second. Sorry about my little technical thing because I've been going through different maps, and I'm going to share this one instead. And as you can see, you know, we have a lot of history. There's a lot of written information in here. And for some reason, this whole area was kind of became an unknown later on in the years. And that keeps you questioned why. On the west coast, if you look at it, this is the ocean Ethiopiacus in Latin, which is Ethiopian Ocean. And why do we lose all that information? As you know all, the answer is there's a lot of things that they don't want us to really explore within us as Africans and see through the history that's been written. So we got to go back to the older histories that's already written by our forefathers. So if they show you a map like that that had a history name and river name, lake name, and suddenly they just disappeared. So I'm going to go back to the map that I was very curious why they kind of posted that way. Is that there's no history to it, as you can see it. As you can see it, there's nothing right in here. You see Ethiopia below it. There's no. It says unexplored regions. So that means they're hiding something behind that information. There's a lot of other videos that I can share with everybody else. But that's why, you know, before we get engaged on what the calling of the motherland, the mother continent of us, and especially these past 10 years, you know, Africans are moving forward. We are really moving forward. We're trying to understand. We are engaged now. Every African is aware as an African. So any part of Africa is hurt is already understood that it has to be done. We have to unite. We have to stand together. We have to show our that we are here to protect each other. And that is the move of the Africa calling for all her children to get engaged. So that includes, this is a diaspora talk, but at the same time as being diaspora and as well in the African continent, we are supposed to be engaged and start understanding and start building a sense of a business plan on how and what we're going to do in the sense of businesses, and then also in the sense of what need to be done. Okay, so from this, I'm going to shrink this map a little bit down so we can go to the rest of them, which I really want to get the most of the intro and what is the agenda that was. And one of the agenda is to eradicate poverty. So in order to eradicate poverty, we've got to have some kind of business plan, something that we can follow, all of us together. It can be morally, prayers, it can be financially, it can be services that we can teach those that are teachers. We can teach our youth. We can teach them science, and at the same time, those of you that are really deep in history, in African history, and in fact, just not African history, but the world history, because within the world history, we'll find some of the history that's been written on their history about the continent. And from what they saw at that time, what they explored at that time is very important for us to understand how Africa was viewed in their eyes. That gives us also a clue to fulfill. Like I said, there's a lot of history that's been hidden. There's a lot of history that's been taken away from us. Like, for example, Africa, the name itself, I told you, it didn't come just because some Roman just decided to call it Africa. Where he landed on the northern Africa, that was the Afar region, which is in the Egyptian and north and the Morocco area. All that was Afar. That Afar area is so-called after that. They said Afar. They called it, they put Ika on it, Africa. So there's a written explanation about it, and we'll dig in. I'll put some link to it. So that's very interesting that our history has been, kind of mixed up. They want to translate Ethiopia as being the burnt face, but in the reality is Ethos. Ethos is, like I said, is God. Okay, Xavier. And Pais is country, which is God's country. So if it shows you already on the oldest map, the whole thing was Ethiopia. And because if you have any doubt, the ocean itself is Ethiopian Ocean on the west coast of Africa. And I was looking at it on this newer version. It says Indian Ocean, but it was not. It was all Ethiopian Oceans all around Africa. So that tells you something, when different way in order to subdue the continent residents, to do something about the history, mix their history. And now we are kind of lost in another land. And one of the shrinking part that we have now is Ethiopia, and it's a little corner of the east horn of Africa. So we need to do a lot of exploration. In fact, Mika brought someone from Ethiopian as well, a professor, and he was explaining about the origin and all that. So that was pretty much a good explanation. So I just add on to that on the history of the land Africa. So remember, Africa came in from Afar, because Afar was not just limited to Ethiopian region; it was the whole northwest of Africa that ours was found, and that's where Afar came to that. And it's very important that we understand at least that piece where it came from. They just didn't come and created the word Africa. It came in from Afar Ika. So there goes a part of the history. And so now that we're establishing what is the immediate need about us, what do we need? Okay, I've shown this in my past introduction. Is we should be determined to eradicate poverty in one generation and build and share prosperity through social, economics transformation of the continent. A high standard of living, quality of life, well-being for all, ending poverty, inequality of income and opportunity, job creation, especially addressing youth unemployment, facing up to the challenges of the rapid population growth and urbanization, improvement of habitats and access to necessity of life, water, sanitation, electric, providing social security and protection. It's a lot of words, okay? It's a lot of words, but they need to be structured so we can effectively line them up in to make them effective. Okay, because right here, if I look at the introduction, is pretty much eradicate the poverty, but at the same time, if we start securing our food security, also it will create a wave of how to do things in Africa. So it's very important that everybody put those two things together. The history is very important. Our unity, our union as one African brothers and sisters, that is something that comes from the inside. We have to create that unity. That starts with me, for all my family in here, and for all the family that I didn't meet yet, that are in the continent, that I didn't get to interact with them. But at the same time, the oneness. Every African affair as an Africans and African descent is our concern. If it's going to take Africa the wrong way, we should stand. We should collaborate and try to get engaged actively and spread the word, because you're not going to hear it on the media, because we individually have the ability to collect information, share validated, true statements, because we don't want to spread disinformation. And once you know your source, once you know it's true, and once you are really good to go on what the information that you have, consult it with a few brothers and sisters around you. This is something that need to be known. That's how we're going to start protecting one another. It's not just the continent, but us as African descent, and especially the diaspora. We have a lot of access to certain information. We have a lot of history books, a lot of other things that's been snuffed and looted from Africa. So we also have the opportunity to go in those libraries, really dig in. This is not something that you do on a Google base, because Google can change. So we need to make sure that we are engaged on what we talk about, what we're going to be talking about, and how we're going to start building our business within the continent. And in fact, that's going to be extend a relation that, even if you live in the West, the relation that what Africa can offer. As you can see in the past news, the past information that we're getting, there's a shortage of humongous shortage of energy and everything else. But Africa's been in the dark, and we don't have all the energy that we really anticipated to have. So we're going to have to work on our energy sector. So if Africa is lit, if Africa got the energy, then we have stepped in toward the future. This is going to help our industries. This is going to help our children and grandchildren's, great-grandchildren, to be able to sit down in this classroom where it's lit. They have electricity. They have convenience. So these are a few steps that we're going to be going forward. But again, we're going to have to start somewhere. And the way I look at certain mega project that's been done in Africa, it's just amazing projects out there. But they need to be shared, and they need to be replicated throughout the African continent. In the agriculture part, in the energy sector, and in fact, let me see if I listed it it's been listed in here. My apology. I think I missed one of the slide that I put the. Hold on. There we go. All right. I don't know if you guys, do you guys see my screen? Okay. This is something that, conceptual, where I said, you know what, you got to have some kind of a business plan, but I didn't finish the whole thing, but we can all fill in this business plan, because all of us have a different ways of doing certain things for Africa and our engagements. And this is where I just put it together, and so like summarize the key product, services, technology, concept, and strategy on which your business is based. This goes, yes, if you look at on anything that we want to sell or we want to enhance, we can start that. This is just a concept. And of course, I clearly state the African long-term mission, and I use our own One Africa mission, which is to defend the image and bring back all the heritage of Africa, decolonize the mind through authentic knowledge, and create a bridge for oneness in a peaceful Africa. And so I just throw that, and I just put some summarizing markets. So this market, it can be, it can be a nation, for the whole nation, the present and the future, the past, present, and the future. Review those changes in the market share, leadership, the players, who's going to be doing what, the costs. All these, we can individually can look at it and develop our business plan. When Africa is calling for her children, this is what we can do for our country, our nation, because that's one nation, one Africa. So you can come up with everything. It's right here. So everybody can have different ways of looking at what you want to achieve in the continent. And these are there. You can download them on your PowerPoints, and you can start looking at the engagement with Africa and what you need to know if you're going to invest your time, you're going to invest your money, you're going to invest heart and soul to it, and you want to identify. You can follow this simple business plan, and I'll share some of these on our WhatsApp group, so people can really look at it, and maybe that's going to help a lot of people to get them organized and to get them moving in the right direction on how to develop their business plan for Africa within the continent and outside the continent. So these are pretty much given things. So again, we got to look, once you get your market summary, you see the past, and then you look at the opportunity, identify the problems and opportunities. You can go on anything. You can use this on anything. It's like identifying your problem and then opportunities, because problem is really, it's an opportunity to get the solution for the problem. I always believe that there's no problem. We're the problem. There's always a solution for a problem. So keep that in mind. Okay. Then we have competition. Okay. You list your competition. Who's going to be your competition, or whatever that you behavior that you're doing. And list that. And the goal and objective, you're going to have to list your 5 years goal, a state specifically measurable objective for achieving for 5 years goal. So that means from now to 5 years, once I start establishing this thing, what am I going to look at myself in the next 5 years? A lot of people don't question themselves. How do I see myself in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years? So this is a little guide that can show us who can achieve those. Then you have to really look into the team. Okay, list as CEO, key management name. So that means any of the leaders, you can manipulate this document any which way you want, and eventually it's going to give you the team organization. You got the president, vice president, then you got the manager, and then so on forth and so forth. So this is on the business side. But again, now you got the resource requirement, because all this position that you just put on the org chart is not going to fulfill by itself. You're just going to have to look on what is going to fit where, who's going to be leading what. So what I believe is that people that are in leadership and knows how to engage and have their interpersonal skills and they can communicate, these are the people that really put a team together. And I know great teams have been formed really to help or engage in the African affairs. These are brothers and sisters that are really working out there. Some of them moved in and they moved completely to Africa, and doing great job. And these are the things that I. This is my comeback after 3 4 weeks now. This is the comeback, and I want to put some little documentation on where they are, who are these people, what they did. And Mika's been bringing all these people. If you ever noticed within the last 3 weeks, he was bringing people that are really doing everything. Thanks, Marit. But yes, Mika brought a lot of interesting people on all these interviews, and even that connection itself, it makes you understand that really Africans are engaged, diaspora is engaged, but the calling is not enough. We need more people to get engaged. So this is where I want to tell all the diaspora, all African descendant from Africa, and as well, when you call for descendant, the whole world is a descendant of Africa. That's another topic. But for those that immediately within the last 7 8 generation, 10 generation, that you are really still tied into the continent, and as well before that. But again, and this is the opportunity. It's an opportunity for the future of 2.5 billion Africans, not to mention the other 500,000,000 African in diaspora. Okay, so there you go. Just to continue on the business plan, now we got the team organization. Then you're gonna have to resource requirement. Okay, you got personnel, technology, finance, distribution, promotion, product, and then services. This is just a standard. Jonathan, Salam, Jonathan. Really see that. I know you're late. I know my buddy is late, but anyway, it's better here than be late. And I'm glad you're here. Anyway, try. Anyway, I'll send an invite. I don't know if we can get a little bit of conversation on this. And I'm just going to give you I'm going to put the invite. Those of you who would like to join me, I really appreciate it. So we can kick off something really great. There we go. And anybody that wants to join, here's a link. I'll send it out on the chat. Okay, so this is simple business plan that I thought I'd just throw it out there. I started entertaining it earlier, but I didn't finish it. Financial plans, like anything else. Key issue, the near term, long term. If you're seeking funding, how you're going to be doing it. And then, of course, you list all your reference supplementary resources. So this is just, I called it One Africa Business Plan. And so you can replicate this format. Those of you who wants a copy of this, I'll put it on the WhatsApp. Those of you that are in WhatsApp, or you can request it through me at the One Africa info and request this copy. I'll post this, and everybody can have that. So I'll be glad to get engaged. And some of the questions that you might have in this concepts, we can engage one-on-one. But for now, this is what I have. Okay. Anyway, to go back on the original, my original window. Just give me a second. Okay. Just give me a second. Now my edge is not sharing. PowerPoint. Okay. All right. Does everybody see my screen? Hopefully everybody see the screen. So this is it. Just from the business plan that I put in, and we can really look at let's say one generation built shared prosperity through social. Okay, there are people that are in that part. Economics, right there. And all this is to really bring a better continent by fighting poverty. It's not just a donation. This is you donate your heart and mind, your money, your education, and what you believe we can help when it comes to eradicating poverty. There's a lot of strong people out there. I'm not a kind of good writer, but at the same time, sometimes I just put things in the box and define what I need to see in the box. And in the box itself, who I'm going to put in there is not somebody that I would say, think out of the box. I always told you, nobody puts us in the box to begin with. It's just to fill in that that box per se, to fill big responsibilities, but those individuals that are really in the leadership understand when I make my statements, and it's there are a lot of big feet to fill in order to really take over on the African affairs, because our parents and our leaders, they're getting old. Okay, we've got an old leadership, so we need the young to fill in those big shoes, as they say. So, in that aspect of it, I'm just going to put some of the link. I just put a link for these maps, and you can take a look at them and make your own understanding of those maps. Why there was history, now there is none, and they finding out that really things are not the way they are. So here's your little reference of the maps. I just put it in there, and you can explore different maps out there. Very, very interesting. So what are we going to get out of that? We spoke about branding Africa. Okay, your branding is what you put out into the world, your tone of voice, your messaging, your visual identity, each of which stems from your brand, who you are, and how you do what you do. Your branding involves positioning your company or product uniquely and memorably in the market, devising brand strategy to reach your goal, developing a consistent visual identity and branding. Right there, really what we want is to brand Africa. Anything that comes out of Africa, well, like any other products out there, the bling bling world, or the different products out there, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and Prada, and all these are different branding. They really worked themselves, and they stood behind it. And some of them, most of the material, I'm pretty sure it has something African in it. So I don't want to get into that, but at the same time, we got our own products. So those of you that are in diaspora, those of you that are within the continent, you start putting your thought together. what is consumable per se, shoes, clothing, stuff like that. These are consumable. Every day, people need shoes. People need clothing. Do we have clothing that we make? Things that we can brand, say, hey, made in Africa. That's branding right there. Can we do that? Those of you that are out there that can listen to my voice into it, that are in business in such marketing and stuff, this is something that you can get engaged. Look at the on the fashion side. Can we trade into a continent? And if the continent appreciate each other's nation's product, and we are behind that product and promote that product that is made in Africa, that gives us the strength. That's what you're going to be branding. Everything that's going to be produced in Africa should be made in Africa. That's how we're going to be really bringing brands, African brands. There are some, tell you honestly, there are certain electrical panels and that are made in Africa, and they say made in the specific nation, but I really want to have that stamp of made in Africa, and they've been distributed in the United States, throughout the world actually. Any company that look at it, it's a quality made, and in fact, this product is made in Ethiopia, and these are panels where you can put your breakers and everything else. A very good quality. But again, that's how we're going to start branding ourselves. So the other thing is, at the bottom, I just said, take control of our riches, our resources. Okay, we got the human resource, and as well we got the natural resources. Well, in order to achieve all these things, we need to take control of our youth education. What are they learning? Which way they're going to be going when it comes to the education? Do they know the history, their history? Do they know where they are, where they live, and where they come from? All these things have got to be us Africans, in diaspora, and as well in the continent. It's our duty that our kids are educated properly, good education, well behaved. Okay, these are the things that I'm looking forward, because Africa has the discipline. And I thank all these parents that are out there that are disciplining the kids, that are educating the kids, that involve the kids on every behavior that you have. Give them the history. I really applaud to you. Thank you so much for bringing beautiful, beautiful children all around, educated, understanding, with empathy. People, really, really brilliant kids that are here, that are looking into the African affair. I can see a lot of involvement on a different platform, different forums, and I really thank for those parents that really worked hard into upbringing those children with discipline. That's our standard, the highest standard: disciplined, respectful, honest, and hard workers. And as well, the integrity is impeccable. I really thank you for those parents that really took their times, whether you're double parents or single parents, but you are successful to have your kids that goes to their schools and graduated and have higher education. I thank you for putting and paying attention for African brothers and sisters that you raised. I really thank you. I just don't want to pass that opportunity without thank you. And then I just listed a few things: a high standard of living, quality of life, and well-being for all African citizens. A well-educated citizen is skills a revolution underpinned by science, technology, innovation. Healthy and well-nourished African citizen. Transformed economy, modern agriculture for increasing productivity and production. Blue ocean, that means we have our ocean all around Africa. And these are the goals that can get us from one subject, eradicating the poverty. And I started going through a different phase. These are the, a prosperous Africa. And I'm just, I don't know if you guys can read it. And this is straight from the AU. And these are the key things that we're going to be doing in the coming future. And we'll protect African interests from global agenda by working together. And this is another topic that I brought in 10/8/2022. African nations need to work together. Each African nation needs to work on their own national interests, but keep in mind the interests of all African nations. These are the key element, key words. I'm going to share this. The next phase, an integrated continent, politically united based on the ideal of Pan-Africanism and the vision of African Renaissance. These are the things that really on the second phase. So every time that we see some of these that are out there, let's get engaged. We can bring these things a lot earlier than anticipated by working together, because we have a lot of other interests than what others look for our downfall interests. So how we can be smart navigating through this world. So how we're going to look at it: environmentally sustainable and climate resilient economy and community. Yes, after all this, we don't want to have a continent that's going to be toxic. We're just going to have to keep an eye on that. Okay. But we have a large land, and nobody knows how large within the large being large in the continent itself is too huge. All right, sorry about that. And then you have I picked on some United Africa, federal or confederate. This is another question, but I didn't explore it much. But the framework and institution for a United Africa that we have to look and see. But we already got a confederation, which is the East African Confederation, and they're doing well, and they're doing a lot of things. The GDP growth and all that is amazing. I was looking at some more documentation, and again, I'm catching up with whatever that I missed within the last 4 weeks, and I'm trying to catch up in the brief in 1 hour. As you can see, 4 is an angel, and I mean it, and that's the time that I'm just want to make sure that I'm going to bring more information to the table. In that, really, I just want to hold it in here, and I'm going to treat you to one of my beautiful thing that I looked at. Is my favorite, but I'll give you about 3 minutes of it, just to wake everybody up. If somebody is listening out there. All right, hold on 1 second. I'm going to share this. I know you guys know Yusuf Nur. There we go.
somebody, never know. I'm really see big hola. You took the seat on some of all the year. Nyan for day. Be na don't set the league. Yes, be na don't set the league. Yes, be na don't set the league. Yes, be na
All right, those of you who like this, I'll put the link, and there's several other African music that I really want to promote. And, Yusuf Ndour is one of my favorite. I have Kofi Alamide, that's another favorite, and several others I've been collecting, and I'll share my other clips base. I don't want to infringe or put our station in jeopardy. But those of you who enjoy that, I'll try to come up with some clips and then put the links below. And those of you who like to listen to it, and you can enjoy it. So I'm just going to put that link itself. This is, let's call it one of the music of the week, so everybody can enjoy it. So other than that, I'm just going to cut it short today again. But again, I really appreciate those who joined me in the support, and my family. Keep strong, keep your mind clear, keep your prayer, put your wish together. And when we are together, we can clap together, and our unity is going to be unbreakable because we are in synchronized. When the motor is sync, we all come to one. And once that engine starts, we're going to start raving it. And until we get our destination, that engine is going to be raving all the way through. Anyway, Jonathan, I know I'll be calling you later on, but again, I'm going to close the session real quick, and I'll get back again next week with more content, because this is just a startup. That the Diaspora Talk did not disappear. It's just the Big E had some challenges, and until next time, I really appreciate for those of you that joined me, and I want to close it in prayers. And I see Marit is battling her sleep, so is next week is going to be 2 p.m. 2 p.m. sharp, so we can have more time. Until next week, I wish you all a beautiful week, and be safe out there again. Be mindful. Love your family. This is the holiday time. Take care of each other and love one another. Thank you, and I'm going to leave you with a little bit of Kofi Alamide, and I'll end the session.
la joie.
Well, for those of you who wants to finish up with the music, I just sent you the link. Enjoy. And again, I pray with for the Almighty for giving me this power to come back and have my Diaspora Talk show again. I really thanks for all my family that followed me. And I just want to let you know, I love you. I missed you. And I'm back. And I'll be seeing you next week at 2 p.m. on Saturday, Eastern Time, Washington, D.C. time, and 9 p.m. African Eastern Time. Thank you again. I want to appreciate the Lord for giving me this power to pass my voice and to others to listen. You shall bless them and grant them peace throughout the world. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen. Good night, everybody. Good night, Africa.